Welcome to our kitchen. Today we're going to be showing you how to make our absolute favourite all-time vegan meal.
If you were a new vegan, if you were coming to us just saying, show me one recipe to make, you just want to learn something basic, something simple but absolutely delicious, then this is the recipe that we would show you. We're going to show you how to make a really nice and crispy tofu rice bowl.
The reason we love it so much is it's got great plant-based protein from tofu. Tofu is something that you're going to need to learn how to cook and make it taste great. And once you figure that out, the world's your oyster. The first thing that we're going to get started with is making our satay sauce. So we can just make this to begin with and leave it to one side, because when we come to cook our tofu, we want to be doing that straight into the pan and then straight onto the plate. First, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. This recipe is based on using 100% peanut butter with no added extra sugars or anything like that. We think that will taste the nicest. We're using that smooth peanut butter, but crunchy peanut butter is also really nice in a satay sauce. Next, we're going to add in a tablespoon of soy sauce and then some grated ginger. We're using a microplane to get ours nice and fine. We want to add some lime juice. Gosh, this lime is very sturdy and does not want to be squeezed. Some sweetness from the agave syrup. Just a little side tip is we get our peanut butter from Aldi. They do the best, most affordable peanut butter. They do these huge big tubs for, I think it's around $3.99, which is an absolute bargain. Depending on the consistency of your peanut butter, you might want to add a bit more liquid content, because we want ours to be a really nice kind of drizzle that we can put on at the end. So we're just going to add in a little bit of water just to help thin that down. This is looking great. It's exactly the kind of consistency that we want. We've got some lovely purple sprouting broccoli here to go with our tofu and our rice, and we're going to actually roast this in the oven. We really like the kind of charred flavour the broccoli gets. It's also nice not to have too many things going on the hob, because you're going to have your tofu and your rice. So having the broccoli done in the oven is kind of one less pan to worry about. You can just shove it in and get on with the other elements of the dish whilst this cooks. And then once it's done, you can also just leave it in the oven and not worry about timings and all that kind of thing. We're keeping the flavours pretty simple for our broccoli. You could even just do it straight in the oven with some oil, but we're going to add a little optional flavour extra thing. So we're going to be going in with some sesame oil, just because it has a really lovely nutty flavour. And then we're also going to use some fresh lime juice as well, and then a sprinkle of salt. Another option, if you like things with a bit of heat, you could sprinkle on some chili flakes as well. That'd be a really nice additional little kick to this dish. You don't have to do this, but I don't want to waste any of the sesame oil, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a smush around in the pan. The reason we're using purple sprouting broccoli, honestly, is just because it was on deal at the shop and we thought, perfect. You can use tender stem or just regular broccoli. It'll all be kind of the same, so just pick whatever you prefer. The last thing that we're going to do before we get started on the tofu is put our rice on. We're using some basmati rice. It's going to take about 15 minutes. Some sticky jasmine rice would also be very nice in this dish. Brown rice or even noodles, but today we're going for rice. So yeah, we're going to get that on and just leave it doing its thing, and then come back and get started with the tofu, which is arguably the best bit. We're now going to move on to cooking our tofu. Tofu is one of those things that you really need to know how to make if you're going to go vegan, or you want to cook more vegan and plant-based meals, because it's such a versatile ingredient. It's got so much great nutrition in it. It's full of plant-based protein. Learning how to make it taste good is a skill, and it takes a bit of time, a bit of understanding. So that's why we're sharing this video with you, because we want everyone to love tofu. So many people they hear the word tofu and they're like, bland, boring, and it's not the case. It just means you're not cooking it right. So hopefully we're here to change that, and what we're going to be doing is making it super crispy. So we're going to chop it up into cubes. You can also crumble it, which also makes it sometimes even more crispy, because you've got those little tiny kind of like nubbiny ends that get really crispy in the oil. But for simplicity today, we're going to do it in cubes, and then we are going to be covering it in flour. Through lots of trial and error over the years, we have found that the best way to get your tofu coated from the corn flour is to add everything into a Tupperware and then give it a good shake around. So we've got our corn flour here. We're going to add that in first, about 2 tablespoons, but obviously it depends how big your block of tofu is. And then we're going to add in some salt and pepper as well. We're now going to shallow fry our tofu in about 2 centimeters of vegetable oil. We're using a little pan, so we're probably going to do it in 2 batches, and then we'll just transfer the cooked stuff to a lined bowl with some kitchen towel just to absorb any of the excess oil, and then you can always store that in the oven as well, just to keep things nice and hot until you finish cooking. Our first batch of tofu is done, and this is the kind of consistency that you're looking for. Nice and golden, a bit crispy, but still with a little bit of a spongy texture to it as well. It's so good. We plated up our rice, our tofu, and our lovely charred broccoli, and now we're going to go on with the satay sauce that we made earlier. Just wanted to say a little something about these kind of bowls, these like stir-fry noodle rice bowls. We're doing it super simple today, so just the broccoli, but it's kind of like the kind of dish that you could stir-fry any veg with. We've done ours in the oven, but you could definitely do like a classic stir-fry, kind of like your peppers, carrots, mushrooms, all that kind of thing, like in the pan, and then do this crispy tofu on the side. Or sometimes we like to roast things like red cabbage and cauliflower and then put that with the tofu, but the options here are endless. So we're just doing it simple today, but so many different ways of using up veg in the fridge and getting all those different kind of vegetables and nutrients into your diet with a dish like this. You could definitely just stop here and this would be your final dish, but as always, if you've seen our videos before, we like to add on extra little toppings just to make it look a bit nicer and add a little bit extra flavour. So we've got some thinly sliced spring onions, we've got some coriander, and then we're also going to do some sesame seeds, and then we're going to also serve it with a little wedge of lime on the side. The satay sauce is incredible. I could literally just spoon it out of the bowl. It's so tasty.
Oh, this is such a classic dinner for us. I cannot wait to get tucked in.
I agree. I'm gonna make a bold claim. I think this is like the ultimate vegan meal. I
That's what we set out to make.
Yeah, or at least a really good crispy tofu is the ultimate vegan meal.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to hit subscribe. If you're new to this channel, we do vegan recipes, vegan shops, all kind of vegan tips and vegan videos on our channel.
So we're going to be posting lots of Veganury content throughout January. We're also going to be doing a short a day or a reel or a TikTok, wherever you guys watch short form video. We're going to be doing 1 recipe a day, so buckle in.
If you like this video, then why not check out our Lazy Vegan Meals series as well, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.